How you going, everyone? Nick here, and I know it's been a while. I think like 110 days since my last video, which, do apologize for. However, life gets in the way, work gets in the way, and, we're back. And today, in Australia, at least right now, it's 8:30 p.m. on Christmas Day. Now, been through all the Christmas celebrations. I'm full of food. But when I woke up this morning, I saw that Reiza Studios had shared an update on one final update for Automobilista 2 2023. Now, I know there's been a few updates, quite significant updates and changes to the physics model and things in more recent updates, but this one really caught my eye because it's all about endurance racing. In particular, Circuit des 24 Hours du Mans. My French is terrible. Don't even try and comment on that. And some of the new Le Mans Hypercars as well, which I was very, very keen to see. So what I thought we'd do in this video, not even in the rig, I'm not doing anything, just chilling at the desk, my rig's over there, but I thought we'd go through the changes in the news post that they put on Steam just to see what it is that's coming. And at a brief look, there's actually quite a lot of exciting stuff down the pipe. So let's get stuck into it and have a look, hey? So they announced this morning, and I was a bit surprised actually, because I thought with the announcement of Le Mans Ultimate that a lot of the licensing had been pushed to towards Motorsport games and their new franchise, which I think we know is a little bit up in the air as to how good it's going to be. So I'm all for having some competition in this space, especially when it's Automobilista 2. So pretty keen. But yes, so they've managed to say, they've managed to work on this DLC, and they're saying that it's going to be out before the end of 2023, which is only, by my clock, about 6 days left. So this could pop up tomorrow, it could pop up in 3 or 4 days, we don't know. But when it does, I'll be doing a video on it, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's go through some of the content that they've got in this update, and some of the highlights, really. I'm not going to go through the whole thing in detail because it is pretty long. You can jump on Steam for yourself and have a look and read through it in detail if you like. But some of the highlights I saw is, yes, so we're getting Le Mans, and we're getting some cars, which are pretty cool. So we're getting two packs, right? So Le Mans the track is going to be released as its own DLC, which it says here, its own dedicated DLC at some point in the final week of 2023. The DLC featuring the modern 24-hour track along with the shorter Bugatti layout, estimated to sell for US $9.99 or $8.99. So what's that? I don't know, about 15 Australian dollars, give or take. That's fair enough. I'll pay it. But beyond that pack, an initial batch of ultimate endurance racing cars, as together with Le Mans, we will also be releasing Endurance Pack Part 1, featuring 4 new GT3 Gen 2 cars, along with 3 LMDh Hypercars. So that's exciting. And if we scroll down a bit, so 2 of the new GT3 Gen 2 are, per their names, replacements of existing Gen 1 models, which is the AMG Evo and the McLaren 720S Evo. But in addition to that, we'll also be getting the M4 GT3 and the Porsche 992 GT3R. I'm pretty keen for that Porsche, so I'll probably be getting both of those packs and trying them out. Now, the LMDh Hypercars are going to be included as part of Endurance Pack Part 1. And you get the Porsche 963, which, albeit not really the fastest car, at least at the last Le Mans race that was done, I think it's probably the best looking. And I really like how the headlights change color depending on certain statuses, etc. That's obviously beside the point of racing, but I think it looks cool. The Cadillac V-Series.R and the BMW M Hybrid V8, which didn't race at Le Mans, but was in the IMSA championship, so they're including it here, and it's a pretty cool car anyway. So as part of that endurance pack, you get all 4 of the Gen 2 GT3 cars and the 3 LMDh cars, and that's another $9.99 US or $8.99 euros, or roughly $15, I guess, Australian, if you're in Australia. Cool pictures, they look good, models look great, as you'd expect from Automobilista 2. Now that's just the start, that's what we're getting in 2023 in the next few days. But they have said that a second endurance pack is already being put together for 2024, which will add new cars to GTE, LMP2 and LMP3 classes, but they haven't said which yet, so we'll see how we go. And they've also said that they're going to be doing some historical versions of tracks of Le Mans anyway, along with the cars that made history in them, they say. So who knows? We might see backflipping Mercedes. Who knows? This could be great. But anyway, we'll have to wait for that one. There's also some additional changes to the game engine itself, so some shader updates, some lighting changes and so forth to make things look a little bit nicer, which is good. Some updated sparks features, so you can see here that there's some sparks. Cool, great. Always looking for new things like that, I guess. And some new rain effects on the windshield wipers. So, it looks nice. It's definitely not as good as the rain effects mod in Assetto Corsa. That's still by far and away the greatest rain effect I've ever seen on a windshield outside of real life. But, beggars can't be choosers. Any improvements are good. I'll take them. So, they're going to be also doing some changes to the way that numbers are displayed on cars, because endurance racing, because it has nighttime, etc. The car numbers and things are illuminated through LED lights. So they'll be adding those to the cars and fixing some of the interior lighting so that it's not too bright. So there's displays and lights and things on the inside of the car. I think typically in the past they'd been quite bright and glaring. So fixing some of that would be nice, especially if you're doing endurance racing for extended periods. You don't want to be looking at that, even if you have a quite tight field of view. These things can be quite distracting, I suppose. Okay, so this part was pretty exciting when I read it the first time. So they say, with fresh new endurance content comes the need for the game to offer better endurance features. And they're going to introduce some valuable first steps in 1.5.5, which is coming this year. So on the AI front, besides improving what type of driving mistakes the AI is subject to and how they occur, etc., they're also adding official support for AI driver swaps in pit stops, which is cool as, I thought. So obviously if you're going to be adding 24-hour endurance racing, if you don't have people to race with, and we know that the multiplayer situation in AMS2 is not excellent at this point in time. So if you really wanted to do some endurance racing but only had the ability to do it with AI races, then that's awesome. You can jump out of the car, let the AI take over, do a couple of stints, wake up the next day or whatever, and keep going. So apparently that's actually already been included in the last update, but the performance and things wasn't scaled correctly and so forth. So that'll be fixed up in time for the next update, and that'll be included in this. So that's pretty cool. And you get to choose who the drivers are and who your teammates are going to be, etc., and select your stints and the order of the stints that each AI person's or AI driver is going to run. So that's great. I think that's a really good feature that they've added. They also say that AI drivers will now flash their headlights at slower traffic ahead, as they would as drivers would in endurance racing. And they've also mentioned some things about nighttime racing, which is good too. So they had some complaints, right, about the lack of performance options for nighttime racing. So they've added the option for the user to configure the maximum number of visible vehicles, as that was probably the main performance draw during the night, as each car model would be hit with various light sources from the track, as well as opponents' headlights. So quite a lot going on, saw performance issues as a result. So being able to separate those settings into daytime and nighttime options, I think is a really good inclusion. They've also added some audio improvements. So you'll be able to select the amount of audio reverb and wall reflections and bounce back, etc. And they've also added working flag LED panels to higher grade tracks that feature them in real life. Initially, only green and full course yellow flags will be activated in the panel, but that will evolve in future updates to also display local blue and yellow flags. So that's cool. So as you can see in this shot here, panels on the side of the track will display accurate warning flags, etc., in their relative position on the track. So that's cool. And last but not least, they'll be bringing a batch of new single-player championships fully set up with appropriate rule presets, including regional and international endurance challenges, with multi-class point systems being supported for both the built-in and custom championships created by the player, with a range of new point systems to pick from. So cool. People like me who mainly play this game offline, or actually I think I've only ever done like 2 online races in AMS2, so cool. It's nice to see that they've put some thought into the current state of the game, not having a super mature multiplayer platform as yet, and having some offline options. So that's really good to see. And then just at the end of the news article for today, they've also given some information around what to expect into 2024 for AMS2. So you can see that they're saying that you should expect game updates to generally grow more spaced out, because they're looking at making them a lot more detailed and complex, and focusing on some more involved content, which I think is a good thing. I think they've done a lot of work in fixing issues and things like that. And being able to put a lot more work and effort in, and taking a little bit longer to give more detailed DLC, I think is a good thing. They're also looking at including a built-in content management system. Now, I don't know what that really means, because is that kind of leaning towards like mod support, or is it just to manage what DLC you've got applied that's official, etc.? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on that, but yeah, I don't know. A built-in content management system. Thoughts? A substantial UI and HUD overhaul. Interesting. I didn't think it was too bad as it was, but if they can make it better, by all means. And a more powerful dedicated server multiplayer tool. Good for league races and things, I suppose. And a groundbreaking career mode. Although this will likely only see public release in 2025. So, fair enough. I mean, I think they're going in for the long haul with AMS2. So, if we keep getting content and updates all the way through to 2025, I'm not going to complain, especially considering the quality of it at the moment. They are also negotiating for some new premium licenses for, tracks and cars and different classes and things like that, so that they can have a wider range of motorsport disciplines available. But I think their focus into 2024 is mostly in further populating the classes that exist today. So we might get more, I don't know, WRC rally. I know that's probably a tough license to get a hold of with their own games and things, but they might branch out into some really niche stuff, which is cool. So we'll see. And then for hardcore endurance races and things like that, they're already looking at branching out into more detail around the European and Brazilian endurance racing series. Right. I'll have to see what that means. I'm not really that deep into the details, especially on the Brazilian endurance racing scene, but we'll have to see. And I think that they want to utilize some of the cars or the tracks rather, that were in the USA DLC, probably Daytona. I think you could use for endurance racing, of course, and maybe they could add Sebring and things like that. So I think there's some more updates coming in 2024 as to how they're going to expand this endurance component, but we'll have to see how we go. I really hope they do put some focus onto the multiplayer side of things. This is really the thing that's weighing this game down. There's so much good content, so many things to do, so much high quality car models and tracks, etc. And it really just gets let down by people who want to race against other people and just can't, because the detail or the systems aren't there. Maybe low fuel motorsport could be integrated into AMS2. I don't know how easy that would be to do. But again, look, the devs are saying that they're looking at the multiplayer stuff, so I hope they could do something, maybe even something similar to what R Factor 2 has managed to pull out of thin air, and start doing this year. So I think that would be a step enough in the right direction to really start getting some people interested in AMS2 who just want to do online racing. So it is what it is. But hey, I thought this was a really interesting article that they'd announced this endurance content, and especially with the upcoming Le Mans Ultimate from Motorsport Games, I didn't expect to see this. So I think that at least has shifted my focus a little bit away from Le Mans Ultimate, if I'm honest, and focusing a bit on this. And if they can get the multiplayer aspect right with this, then it could be excellent. So fingers crossed. But we'll see. But anyway, as soon as this is released, I will be doing another video. I'm on holidays from work. It's a miracle. So I do have some spare time for now, at least. But I'm going to keep trying into next year to keep my upload schedule more consistent, at least a little bit more realistic. Maybe do a video a week or a video every 2 weeks or something like that. We'll have to see what it looks like. But life is hectic, you know how it goes. But I hope everyone has enjoyed the video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'm glad to be back. It's always nice to be back. It'll be even better when I'm back in the sim rig. which won't take long, don't worry, especially when this comes out. But if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I hope everyone has a very enjoyable holiday season. Christmas is already over for me, essentially. Got about 3 hours to go, and then it's Boxing Day. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching, and until the next one, I'll catch you later. Thanks. See ya.